Hey there, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the Warmup. I'm your host, Ashley Bullington. State Championship weekend starts next week. So this week we have a great show dedicated to the state semifinals that will keep you on the edge of your seat. So it's time to get you warmed up. It is the state semifinals this weekend, and there's going to be some of the best football going on in the state this entire season. This is one of the best times of the year as we are getting to witness teams who have been working so hard to get to this point, one step away from reaching AT&T Stadium. That being said, we have a great slate of games coming up to you this week on Inside High School Sports. Let's check them out here on the lineup presented by So Chill Chips and Salsa. Our DQ game of the week is Katy versus Austin Westlake. It is the 6A Division I 2020 state champions versus the 6A Division II state champions. And it should be a thrilling battle between these two perennial powers on the gridiron. Two legendary coaches, two undefeated teams, one chance to go to the state title game. Katy is 14-0, seeking its second straight title in Division II after rolling through the bracket last season. The Tigers are also looking to become just the second program in UIL history to win double-digit state championships. Aledo won its 10th title last season, but the Bearcats were eliminated from the 5A Division II playoffs this time around. Leaning on playoff experience from last year has served the Tigers well, according to head coach Gary Joseph. Katy is allowing only 13.4 points per game, and it's just now getting back to full strength defensively after a rash of injuries. The Tigers will have their hands full against a Westlake team that averages 512 yards per game. Who comes out on top in this one? Another 6A matchup that you'll be seeing on our show is North Shore versus Lake Travis. This is another matchup between two perennial powers, and it is in Round Rock at Reeves Stadium. It's bound to give us quite the thrill. It's the fourth straight season North Shore will play in a state semifinal. Against Atascocita last week, Xavier Owens finished the game with 14 carries and 162 yards for 2 touchdowns. They defeated their district foes 44-20 in the regional finals last week and are looking to make their way back to the state finals. The Mustangs have scored 580 points this season and have only allowed 195 points against them. The most any team has scored on North Shore is 27 points, and that was in their lone loss to Westfield in non-district. The Mustangs know how to win, and after a season-ending semifinal loss in 2020, North Shore's only goal in mind is winning a state championship.
Warm up your game day with the authentic flavors of ancient cooking. So thin, so crisp, so good, so chill.
We have some great games that you'll be seeing highlights of on Inside High School Sports Saturday night at 11 p.m. on KHU11, hosted by Matt Musil. Now it is time for a battle as we bring on some really phenomenal athletes you'll be seeing lining up on the gridiron, but instead they line up here on our show. Okay, for the battle this week, we have two phenomenal athletes from Crosby High School on with us. Guys, introduce yourselves.
Myles, quarterback. Tyler Cooper, outside linebacker.
Okay, what does www stand for in a website browser?
Worldwide Web. Worldwide Web.
It's World Wide Web. Of the M&Ms in the M&M bag, what is the rarest M&M color?
Orange. Brown.
It's brown. What sport is dubbed the king of sports?
Soccer.
It is soccer.
Oh, yes.
Dump, floater, and wipe are all terms used in which team sport?
Dump, floater, and wipe. Volleyball.
It is volleyball.
Oh. I did not know that. I really didn't know that. I was going to say like water polo or something.
What was the first soft drink in space?
Coca-Cola.
It is Coca-Cola.
Oh. I was gonna guess that. Oh, me. I thought Coca's like super famous, but that was.
Yeah, but you're the battle champion. You win.
Oh.
You're the winner.
I don't lose. I told them I don't lose.
Awesome, guys. So we'll have highlights and a phenomenal Chevy Spotlight this week on the Crosby High School football team. So check us out on Inside High School Sports Saturday at 11 p.m. on KHU11. Only 2 more weeks of the football season, guys. I can't believe it. It feels like just yesterday that we were in August kicking off the high school sports season. Inside High School Sports cannot make it to every game this week, but we want to hype up the 6A Division II showdown that'll be at McLean Stadium Saturday night at 7 p.m. Denton and Tomball will be kicking off in 6A Division II for a chance to go to a state title game. The Wildcats are 13-1 and the Cougars are 11-3. In his first season as Geyer's starting quarterback, 4-star junior Jackson Arnold has thrown for 3,611 yards and 30 touchdowns while completing 66.7% of his passes and throwing only 5 interceptions. Arnold rated the 7th best quarterback in the nation in the class of 2023. He has 5 300-yard passing games. Geyer has 3 receivers with over 500 yards and more than 40 receptions. Dartmouth pledge Grayson O'Bara, Brody Noble, and UT San Antonio pledge Jace Wilson. Bryson Phillips leads the running game with 788 yards and 12 touchdowns, and Arnold has 9 touchdown runs. For Tomball, they have a dual-threat quarterback in Cale Helms. Committed to Army, he has thrown for 1,910 yards and 22 touchdowns and has run for 1,775 yards and 16 touchdowns. He has thrown for more than 200 yards in a game just twice, but he has run more than 100 yards 7 times with a season high of 317 yards. Running back Christian Warmup has run for 1,222 yards but has held below 100 yards in each of the last 5 games. Derek Taylor had his 10th touchdown catch of the season last week against Bridgeland. The senior wide receiver had a 10-catch, 234-yard game against Klein Kane in the regular season. Who do you think will get the chance to go to the state finals? So many great games going on this week, and now it is time to see what's been trending on social media around the Inside High School Sports world in our segment, The Buzz. Some huge news coming out of Summer Creek High School's offensive lineman Kelvin has decommitted from Oregon. The 5-star prospect is the number 2 ranked lineman in the state of Texas and the number 10 in the country. Recruiting experts believe it is a battle between Texas and A&M for Kelvin. A big congrats goes to Cypress Christian, who took their state championship title for the TAPS Division III state championship over Trinity Christian School 16-7. Head coach Chris Hogan was also named Coach of the Year. That's all we have for this week's episode. To stay up to date with all things Inside High School Sports, follow our social accounts. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. By following those, it'll get you ready for the highlight of the sports weekend. Chevy's Inside High School Sports, Saturday night at 11 p.m. on KHU 11, hosted by Matt Musil. I'm Ashley Bullington, and I hope you've gotten warmed up for all of the chilly weather and Texas high school football action on the gridiron this weekend.